This morning, I want to give us a quick news flash that worship is not about us. It's not about us. Did you know that you can still worship this morning if the church sings a song you don't like? Did you know you could still worship this morning if the church sings a song you don't like in a style that you don't like either? Right? That's the way we need to approach worship. That's a revolutionary thought, because once we understand that worship is not about us or our preference or our opinion, then it transforms the way we approach it or evaluate it when it comes to what we do together. You see, I'm going to take a couple shots here. Oftentimes contemporary churches spend a lot of money and focus on attention to create a concert atmosphere, or we've all heard the statement, it's what draws people in, quote, we got to spend money in this area because it's what draws people in, or we need to do this style of music because it'll attract millennials to our church. Herb and I, we kind of get some of the same Christian Today emails, and a lot of times you'll have many articles in there, the top 10 ways to grow your church, or if you do this, they'll come. In fact, there was a guy that kept calling over the last several weeks. No, I'm not picking on him in general, because he's not from around here, but he kept calling, and we didn't realize it was a sales call at the time. He kept leaving a message for me, and then he started leaving a message for Herb. So I called him back beginning of last week sometime on my way home, and unfortunately it was a sales call, and he wanted to sell some type of infrastructure programming that would grow our church. And I just entertained him. I was driving. I didn't have to talk. I really just listened for 45 minutes. And he just kept on and on about, hey, if you communicate in this way, or if you bring these type of people in, you can hire a couple people under the age of 30. And the conversation went on for 45 minutes. Him trying to sell me software that would grow our church. And not one time did he mention God. Not one time did he mention the Lord. You see, from the style of the music that a lot of our churches play, to the way it's presented, to the layout of the worship center, if we come into this with the wrong mindset, it becomes almost like a concert or a theater experience, right? For obvious reasons, I understand how that could get confusing for you and for me and for all that are involved, because in a concert or a theater, the expectation of the audience is different than what it is here, right? The audience members paid their admission, and they're going to come in and get their popcorn, sit in their comfortable seat, maybe stay awake if the show's good enough, and they're not really required to do anything, right? Because they're at a show. But before we pass judgment on the contemporary, trendy churches, I want to also focus on some of our more traditional churches. See, we all do it. In fact, many traditional services sing the same hymns week after week in a robotic fashion. It's the beloved hymn. They take no thought to sing it. The melody starts on the piano or the organ, and you can just sing the words. Verse after verse. If you're in a good Baptist church, I think it's usually verse 1, 3, and 4. I think we skip 2. I don't know. I don't do that very often, as you all know. But all we've done is created zombies that can sing melodies, right? We've not taught you anything about worship. We've just taught you words. And a lot of times we don't even pay attention to the words, right? We just learned a melody.